What's up, taters? This is Tree from treeoflogic.com, and welcome to the Treetop News for this Tuesday, September the 6th. Listen, I have a new way I'm going to do this. I know you're like, dang, you reformatting it again? Well, I noticed that the international news, because of the fact that Russia cut off the pipeline to the EU, and a lot of protests is going on, and a lot of uproar is going on, and everybody's losing their mind, I noticed that the international news is getting longer and longer and longer and longer. And so remember, my goal is not to make these videos over 45 minutes long. And if I do an international news, as much of all the stuff, the craziness that's going on overseas, I do want to cover a lot of it, but I am actually not able to because I don't want to go over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it up. I'm going to do the Treetop News, the international section, if I have a lot of news, and then I'm going to have that as a separate video. But if I don't have a lot of international news, then I will put that with the national and local news, as well as the ridiculousness or the social media news and the feel good news and stuff like that. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So if I have a lot of international news, I'm going to have that as its own video, its own solo video, and then do the rest in a compact video. So anyway, I just want to let you guys know what's going to happen every now and then. So once again, if I have a lot of international news, I'm going to have that as its own separate video. So without further ado, let's get on over to international news. Enjoy. So for those of us who've been keeping up with the inspection that has been happening in the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant that is being bombed by Ukraine, at first they were saying Russia was doing it, which is stupid because Russia has control over the nuclear power plant, so why would they bomb themselves? And then when Russia insists that the UN send inspectors over there to determine who's really doing it. At first they was like, no. Then they were like, okay, we'll send some people over there, right? So then they send people over there, and not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times, not 5 times. The little man who wants a lot of money and weapons have been sending his troops to basically try to seize the nuclear power plant, and they failed miserably. Okay, Russia opened a big old can of whoop booty and just, unleashed it on them. And so what does the little man with money and weapons do? He continues to bomb the nuclear power plant while they're over there. And so, and not only that though, here's the deal. They even thanked them. I had to even go find this. The UN even thanked Russia, right? So I need to say this to you so you can see why I'm so angry right now. And actually, I'm not disappointed because I saw this coming. But look at this. Check this out, right? Check this out, right? This is the UN thanking Russia for protecting the IAEA inspectors from the Ukrainian attack, right? Just watch this.
Russian Defense Ministry today, it's about the IAEA mission, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Russian Defense Ministry today stated that the Ukrainian group of saboteurs attempted to capture the station in order to use the mission as a human shield. So they were neutralized according to the Defense Ministry, and the officials of Russian Defense Ministry express bewilderment, I quote, due to the lack of reaction of the UN Secretary General to this incident. Do you have any reaction in this regard?
We are glad that the Russian Federation did what it needed to do to keep the inspectors safe. I think our security people, our drivers have done a tremendous job in getting the IAEA inspectors in. They will continue to support the mission until it ends. And it is like with any UN mission, it is the responsibility of those who have power over a certain area and who are responsible for a certain area to keep UN staff safe.
See, when you do all that line, you gotta go and clowns. All right, so you got that right. So those of us who've been keeping up with what's going on in Ukraine have been waiting for the IAEA, but I was watching the way the leader of the inspecting leader, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try to, the way he was carefully wording his statement. And they also had a meeting. This is what you guys don't know, and I don't feel like getting the receipts for that, but you can check it. I'm not lying on here. They met with the little man who always begging for more money and weapons. They met with him privately, and they actually filmed it. So I'm like, oh, they're compromised. But then again, you can't trust the UN anyway. So let me just put that out there. You can't trust these people. So they said yesterday, and I put it on my Telegram, that they were going to announce the findings for the report of the nuclear safety and security situation in Ukraine. Guess what? They do not tell you who's bombing the nuclear power plant. They're so vague. They're like, oh my God, I'm so angry with it. Hold on. When you read the report, and I'll leave a link here so you can go look for it yourself, right? It's just, they're telling you the condition of the plant and the size of the hole, and they're measuring it in centimeters and all this other stuff. And they're telling you like, oh, well, we saw a hole here on this roof and it looks like it comes from this direction, but they don't name the people or the person, the little man begging for money and weapons. They don't name Ukraine. They don't name nothing. They just sit up here and tell you the conditions. Now, I didn't finish reading the entire report, but look at this thread right here. They're like, well, look at this right here in summarization. It's like blah, 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 blah. No, they're not telling you anything. So that's what I'm saying. I don't even know why is Russia trusting people who hate them? So they don't want to name that the little man who's asking for more money and weapons, they don't want to blame him or his army for doing this. They want to sit up here and tell you the condition of the nuclear power plant and what is needed there. And then, anyway, I had left a message I left a comment on one of my favorite YouTubers that talk about international news, and that is Alex Cristofaro. There's a lot of men I listen to, and he's one of them. I love his walk and talks when he walk around with his camera, he talks into it. And I left a message, and it looked like he hasn't talked about it yet, but I'm hoping he would talk about it later on today. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Corruption at its best. Corruption at its best. And also, speaking of corruption, check this out. The British TV show is playing with the so-called citizens, because I wanted to say I guess you can say they are citizens or whatever, but I don't know. They treating them like third class refugees, as a matter of fact, right? So they have a TV show that was offering those who called in either money or to pay their the energy bill for the next 4 months. I kid you not. Now, I can't play this in the video because I'll get boy, them people over there in the UK, they have no problem giving you a copyright content ID on your channel. So I will leave if you want to see the entire video. But somebody calls into the British show, and this is what they do. They sit up here and they spin this wheel, right? They spin the wheel. And they're like, they got different money right here. They got different money in pounds, whether it's 1,000 pounds or 15,000 pounds or 500 pounds, whatever. Or they just pay your energy bills for the next 4 months. All right. So here's where they do it right here. Right. So they're like, yeah, guys, can you imagine that? This is so ridiculous. Imagine if they had money and then food, or money and clothes. All right, like holy smokes, what is going on with in the UK? So I'm sorry for hitting my mic. I need to slow my animation down here. So they spin the wheel, right? And they're like, yay, let's see what you gotta get. And so they spin the wheel, all right, and boom, it hits on energy bills. Then the caller goes, oh God, he's so relieved too. You can hear it in his voice. He's like, oh my God, I'm so relieved. Thank you so much. He's like, yay, we're gonna be paying your energy bills in the next 4 months. Paying the energy bills. Because their energy bills had tripled, maybe quadrupled in number. This is so instead of them paying about what, 200 pounds for electricity bill, they're paying anywhere from 6 to close to 800 pounds. You can't make this up, man. You can't make this up. I don't understand. Like, and they're like, it's, to me, this is like making a mockery of the people there. But then I have to still give you guys that tough love. Okay, I still have to give you the tough love. You voted for these people, and if you thought Boris Johnson was bad, you ain't seen nothing yet, honey. Wait until Theresa May 2.0, also known as Liz Truss, get finished with you guys. I swear, you're going to be looking at the Congo and be like, maybe I should move there. I don't see no difference between here and there, okay? Anyway, let's move on over. So the euro has gone to an all-time low in 20 years. When Putin said, hey, y'all don't want to fix this turbine? Y'all don't want to take care of this oil leak? We're just going to go ahead and shut the entire Nord Stream down until you release the sanctions. And because, let me just say this. Guys, they're trying to play cry bully. Understand that the West put these super duper nuclear sanctions on Russia, okay? And then Russia continued to supply them gas, but then they said, well, since we can't use the euro and the dollar, then you're going to have to pay in ruble. They try to break bad and say, we're not paying nothing. But then Russia held its ground, and then they started to pay for the ruble. Then they said, okay, we got these turbines that you guys got to fix because that's based upon the contract. The EU signed a contract with Russia stating that they will pay for the repairs of the pipeline, and therefore the contract is from the facility in Canada. Well, Canada can't do it because there's sanctions saying that you can't fix the turbine, to help with the pipeline from Russia to the EU, particularly from Russia to Germany. Okay, so since they have the sanctions there, then Russia's like, well, look, we just can't have this oil leaking out of the pipeline, so we're just going to shut it down. Because at first it was from 40%, then it was going to 20%, then they fixed the pipeline and installed it and it's back to 40%. Then they got another oil leak that Siemens even agreed that was there. They even signed off. Siemens said, yep, that's an oil leak. That we got to fix a couple of these turbines, not just one, but I think it's like 4 or 5 of them. And then they're like, yeah, but we can't send them in Canada because Trudeau said he can't do it. He can't fix it because of the sanctions. So he's like, well, Putin case is like, you know what? How about this? We're going to just shut the pipeline down. Then they shut it down. all hell goes loose. And then they go, look at what Russia's doing to us. They have weaponized the gas and oil, and they're basically trying to starve us and freeze us to death because of they're not giving us any free oil and gas. But wait a minute. Remember, don't forget that they were the ones saying we're going to get rid of Russian gas and oil, and we're going to clean energy. We're going to go green. What happened in that plan? Oh, yeah, okay. Anyway, so when they did that, the euro fell to 98 cents towards the dollar, and today it went up just a little bit. But wait a minute, this happened about 2 days ago, did it not? No, it happened yesterday. My bad, it did happen yesterday. So it was at 98 cents yesterday, now it's up to 99 cents. So I'm going to make a prediction. I got a funny feeling this sucker's going to go to 96 cents. Because right now we're at the beginning stages of people realizing, it's the month of September. We got to do something so we don't freeze to death come November, December, January, February, and March. That's just how long their winters are. Gosh, man, these people. All right, anyway, so let's get back over to what I was explaining yesterday in reference to Russia shutting off the main pipeline, okay? Because they can't fix the pipeline until the sanctions is up. You continue to pay Russia in rubles until you get rid of the sanctions. So it amazes me the cry bullying from the EU and from the UK. By the way, notice how we ain't crying. I want y'all to understand. You gotta read between the lines. Notice how America is doing okay. As a matter of fact, and I'll talk about this in the national and local news, when Biden got off the plane and they said, and one of the reporters said, should we declare Russia a terrorist state? Biden said, that's going to be a no, chief. That's a no. And then when they asked the Congress, as well as Biden administration, are they going to ban Russian citizens on a travel ban? They said no. Have y'all noticed that it's only the EU and the UK that is suffering from the sanctions going towards Russia, and that we are not doing that bad over here? I just want y'all to pay attention to all of this, okay? It's done by design. Like, there's a lot of protesting going on in Germany, and there's a lot of it going on in Italy right now, but it's not for what they're doing over here, which I don't think there's I don't think there's any more abortion protesting or anything like that. But even though our gas is like twice as high prior to Biden taking office, it ain't ridiculous. Like, we don't have no ridiculous gas bills and electric bills like they do in the EU and the UK. And they can stop this if they just lift the sanctions. That's all they have to do. They are basically hurting themselves in the process. And the fact that they don't want to get rid of the sanctions makes me think that it's done by design. They want this to happen. All right, let's go on over to the fact that winter is coming. So I want to talk about this really quick. Oh, can you guys see this? Okay, I think you can. Okay, NATO struck. No, you can't. Hold on a second. Sorry. Let me lower that down. Okay, you can see it now. NATO struggling to supply winter uniforms to Ukraine. This is from Der Spiegel. That is a German newspaper. Kyiv has reportedly asked the military bloc to urgently provide it with hundreds of thousands of uniforms and other equipment. Really? NATO members have been scrapping the barrel in their efforts to supply Ukraine with sufficient winter uniforms and field camp equipment. Germany's Der Spiegel magazine reported on Monday Kyiv has apparently called on the bloc to urgently provide the necessary equipment before the cold weather sets in. My question is, what y'all gonna do about gas and oil for the tanks that Russia keeps blowing up? I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but if you guys, I'm telling you guys, if you want to see what's really going on over there, you need to check out my Telegram. You don't have to join. You can bookmark it and watch it without even being a Telegram member. That's a lot of people do that. But if you're part of Telegram, feel free to follow me. I'm telling you, I give you all the receipts and all the news. So this is it. But, this is a problem that they're facing. But that's not the problem. They're not even, what's the point of having all these winter uniforms if you don't have any diesel gas to put in those? And I do believe that the tanks take diesel. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me in the comment section. Okay, let's move on to something else. Okay. Erdogan is going crazy, y'all. I remember Alex Cristofaro talking about this, and he's like, well, we're not worried because they're not going to do anything. Erdogan is just Erdogan. Is it Erdogan or Erdogan? I tend to fluctuate between the two pronouncings of the name. Anyway, Erdogan is like constantly like, we're gonna bomb you, Greece, if you keep messing with us. And I remember hearing Alex saying that this is all just smoke and mirrors, that it's not a big deal. But then Erdogan doubled down today. So now I'm like, okay, maybe I should talk about this just in case Turkey decides to come and attack Greece. Because let's not forget, Turkey is part of NATO, and so is Greece. So what happens when two NATO countries go at it? Like, which side will the other countries take? They're going crazy over there in Europe, guys. Turkish President Erdogan warned Greece of a possible strike at any moment. Athens is aware of Turkey's determination on the issues of countering provocations. Somebody just, that, you know what, the reason why this doesn't sound fluid is because it's been translated, and therefore no longer take steps aimed at escalating the situation in the region. That's they had to basically. Let me just read the actual article. NATO allies Greece and Turkey have repeatedly found themselves on the brink of armed conflict due to the territorial disputes. A new round of tensions began on August the 23rd, when, according to the Turkish Ministry of Defense, Greece deployed Russian-made S-300 air defense systems to target Turkish F-16s during a NATO mission. Greece denies this. In recent days, the rhetoric between the two countries has sharply escalated. Turkey's President Erdogan said on Saturday that Greece is threatening Turkey with S-300 air defense systems and will pay a heavy price if it goes further. So, yeah, I don't know. Now that Erdogan has Russia on his side, and Greece and Russia were really good besties until Greece decided to side with the EU and NATO against Russia with the sanctions. They destroyed that relationship. So there's that. Speaking of destroying relationships, Poland. So we have Greece going against Turkey, or Turkey going against Greece. Them two are fighting. And guess who else is fighting within NATO? Germany and Poland. Poland was like, we need 1 gazillion, quadrillion, billion monies in reparations. And Germany said, pfft. That's all Germany. Germany didn't even give a statement. Germany said, So now look at what happens. Germany wants Poland as a colony, says the conservative Polish leaders. So now they're saying Germany is trying to invade Poland, just like the good old days. I bet y'all regret turning against Russia now. Both the leaders of Poland's ruling party and the country's justice ministers are accusing Germany of wanting to control Poland and bring down its government. Quote, I said from the start that we will not get EU recovery fund money because Germany is determined to help Tusk back into power in Poland at the head of the colonial administration, said Justice Minister, Polish first name and Polish last name I can't pronounce, in an interview with Poland's largest commercial radio station, RMF-FM. In an interview, Polish last name guy said he was surprised that the Polish government has been giving way for the past 2 years, and that he and the party that he leads, the Solidarity Poland, a part of the ruling bloc, had warned about this and had argued with Prime Minister, Polish first name, Polish last name, to veto the conditionality mechanism for the EU recovery fund that had been pushed by the then German president of the EU in 2020. Well, here's the deal. Poland, I don't know why y'all think y'all can trust Germany. They run the EU. So I don't understand. They're not going to give you your money. They're not going to give you reparations. They're just going to continue to mistreat you guys. And like, what? Who's going to have your back? You should have never joined the EU. Whew. Okay, anyway. UK slips behind India to become world's 6th biggest economy. So remember, excuse me, sorry about that. Remember yesterday when I said, hey guys, if the UK does not make peace with Russia and get that oil and gas, they're going to go into a second world status. Now, I'm not talking about ideology in reference to communism. I'm talking about their living standards. So I consider India to be second world. But if India has passed, not if India, sorry, it's since India has passed the UK as the biggest world economy, okay? And I'm thinking like, uh-oh. And here you have, they're not worried about gas. They're not having protests. And because they have a very good deal, a very lucrative deal with Russia, they are getting a discount for being an ally with Russia. So they're getting a discount on a lot of gas and oil. They ain't worried about no gas and oil. They ain't not even worried about high electricity bill over there. They're good. The UK is worried. The people in the EU are worried. And here you have, they have slipped behind Britain as the world's biggest economy, thanks to Russia. You got to thank them to Russia. That's the only reason India is in this position. Okay, Britain has dropped behind India to become the world's 6th largest economy, delivering a further blow to the government in London as it grapples with the brutal cost of living shock. The former British colony leaped past the UK in the final 3 months of 2021 to become the 5th biggest economy. The calculations based on the US dollar, which gone down, and India extended its lead to the first quarter, according to the GDP figures from the International Monetary Fund. I'll have this link available in the description box below so that you can see it for yourself. Okay. And so looks like we have people doing a lot of hate hoaxes over there in Germany, like they have been doing it here in America. And wouldn't you know, same people crying foul. Hate hoax in Germany. Green politician resigns after inventing a neo-Nazi death threat against himself. Okay, the alleged threats from the neo-Nazis against Green politician, I cannot pronounce this name. I'm not even going to try to, have made headlines across Germany and led to the tension in North Rhine, Westphalia, Germany's largest state by population. However, the counselor from Erkelenz, I should be good with pronouncing German here, but I'm messing up the German names here, staged the various threats in an elaborate scheme, according to the results of the investigation published by the Public Prosecutor's Office. The 33-year-old whose parents immigrated from Sri Lanka. You don't say. You don't say. Okay. The 33-year-old whose parents immigrated from Sri Lanka has submitted numerous complaints. First, his car window was smashed, and that the funny little Hindu inverted symbol sprayed on the vehicle. Another time, he claimed the SS ruins and the inverted Hindu symbol were drawn on the doorbell of his the doorbell? This is the doorbell? Okay, were drawn on the doorbell of his house. Then he revealed that the inverted Hindu symbol was scrawled on the sidewalk in front of his apartment, and that he found the razor blades in the mail. The politician also received take you out threats signed by the NSU 2.0, referring to the National Socialist Underground NSU group that committed a number of taken outs across Germany for years. So, yeah, dude. When will you guys ever learn? I swear. Okay, and the last, as we have, the last one, which is a crying shame. Melbourne mural criticized as utterly offensive by Ukrainians. These people are so evil. They have so much hatred in their heart that being peaceful with Russia, actually embracing them and saying, you know what? You're a Slavic brother. I'm your Slavic brother. Let's stop fighting for these Western countries. Let's stop fighting NATO's war. Let's stop fighting for the UK. And let's stop fighting for America. But do you think they're listening? Nope. No, they're not listening. No, they're not listening. So let's check this out. Hopefully I won't get struck with this because this is coming out of the UK, but I mean out of Australia. But if I do, I will just cut this part out. So let's go ahead and look at it here.
Ukraine's ambassador to Australia has called for the removal of a Melbourne mural, describing it as utterly offensive. That's the mural right there.
The artwork shows a Russian and Ukrainian soldier hugging each other. The artist Peter Seaton, who works under the name CTO, joins us live now from Melbourne. Peter, good morning. So you named the mural Peace Before Pieces. What was the original intention behind the artwork?
The original intention was to focus our efforts on this war towards a negotiation of peace to avoid nuclear disaster from crazy leaders.
So the reaction has been swift, and it's been slammed in some parts as well. It's been described as utterly offensive and a profound insult. Did you expect this kind of reaction?
No, I did not expect it at all. I talked to a number of different people of all political sides and got a lot of feedback from people. I actually waited. I proposed the initial concept and then I waited probably about 8 months to actually, 6 to 8 months to actually do it. So I really tried to do the best thing, but I felt it was a message of peace and it was the best way I could portray a message of peace, which is something that I'm fundamentally about.
And so you painted over it now, though? It's been covered up?
Yeah, I was up till 3 a.m. last night painting over it.
Don't you think that's a shame in a way?
Oh, it is sad, but it sort of feeds into the art of the artwork as well. Has an NFT component, so using it sort of makes it more valid in that space because it will only exist as a digital artwork now. So that was sort of like the idea around it, and yeah, it is sad, but I mean, yeah.
So what did you paint over it with?
I just rolled it with like some random color that I had, and I'm gonna probably come back when I come back from doing a video. I've got to go away for a couple of days, so I'll redo it nicely and maybe do something, another mural, or maybe just leave it because the people can have the eerie feeling of a blank wall instead.
I just think it's a shame, Pete. I think your intention. I think that the picture shows your intention, and that's to bring about peace here.
Well, thanks,
you know,
Carl.
and I think that's what art is.
I mean, that's exactly right. I mean, you know it to a T. I mean, that's what I was, and it's a talking point about conflict as a whole,
Agree.
and like as where we're at. Like in this time, it's 2022. We've had World War II, we've had Vietnam, we've had Iraq, we've had Afghanistan. We should find a way to now go beyond war, and that was what I'm sort of trying to highlight.
I suppose that the reality is that no one believes a Russian soldier will hug anyone. At this point, that's why it's so raw.
No. It's the other way around. See, I'm sorry. These people are so disingenuous. Melbourne mural criticized as utterly offensive to Ukrainians. So it's the Ukrainians that are upset about it. You don't have nobody from Russia telling us, how dare you? What are you doing? No. The Ukrainians are the ones who are offended. It's not Russia. So if the Ukrainians are the ones who are offended, then they're the ones who are like, I would never hug a Russian. God, the bell curve is a lie. Oh my goodness, you know what? I don't want to listen to this. Well, hopefully, maybe the woman, okay, I'm really gambling high here. Maybe the woman will correct this guy and say, no, it's the Ukrainian who don't want to hug a Russian. Let's see.
Some of those really disgusting stories out of.
But at the end of the day, we don't want this conflict to go on, and you're reflecting that. I think it's sad that you had to take it down. But
it's just a mural.
That's it. It's a mural.
It's a mural.
Maybe that's what we need, a mural.
A terrible mural.
Good on you, Pete. Thank you so much, mate. And let us know what you think about that at home. Is it too much? Direct all of your conflict towards me.
No, not me. Put it towards
That's
him.
right.
Thank you.
Stupid. Just
Ukraine's
dumb.
ambassador
Just dumb. Dumb. Bell curve is a lie, guys. Stop believing in the bell curve. It's just absolutely stupid. Oh my God, is this thing just gonna constantly do this? Anyway, so that concludes the international news segment, and I'm gonna go ahead and work on the national version. So let me know what you think by leaving a comment below this video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Later, taters.